My brothers and sisters, I want you to hear me clearly today. The battle you are in right now, it's not just about the job you lost, the relationship that broke, or the opportunity that slipped away. No, 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 this battle is about your becoming. Before you win any war in life, you must first win the war within. The greatest battlefield you will ever face is not in the courtroom, not in the boardroom, not even in your neighborhood. It is within your own soul. Your thoughts, your habits, your responses, and let me tell you something, you cannot outsource this battle. You cannot delegate your discipline. You cannot hand off your personal growth to a mentor, a friend, or a pastor. You must be the one to face yourself and say, enough is enough. It's time to take control of my life. Discipline is not glamorous. It doesn't come with applause or accolades. It doesn't go viral. Discipline happens when nobody is looking. It's built in the quiet moments, in the early mornings when you wake up to pray, in the late nights when you choose to study instead of scroll, in the sacrifices you make that nobody claps for. That's the real training ground. That's where the real soldiers are born. The problem with too many of us is we want victory without the discipline. We want results without the routine. We want power without process. But God doesn't anoint shortcuts. He anoints order. He anoints structure. He blesses what is built on solid ground. You want to be a warrior. You want to be your own army. Then you've got to wake up and train yourself. Not once, not twice daily. That's right, every single day, because every day the enemy of your soul tries to distract you, tries to seduce you into settling, tries to convince you to give up before you've even gotten started. And the only way you can resist him is if you've built the kind of inner strength that doesn't flinch under pressure. You've got to be so grounded in purpose, so committed to your routine, that laziness and compromise become foreign languages to your soul. Think about it. You don't need an army of people hyping you up if you've disciplined yourself to walk in your assignment. You don't need validation when you've learned to value your own voice. Some of you are waiting for motivation to knock on your door, but discipline doesn't wait on feelings. It doesn't wait until you're inspired. Discipline says, I do it even when I don't feel like it. I show up even when I'm tired. I keep going even when I'm misunderstood. That's what separates warriors from wanderers. Let me break it down for you. Discipline is a weapon. It defends you from distractions. It blocks the darts of temptation. It protects your destiny from being derailed. If you don't master the discipline of your emotions will become your enemies. If you don't master your time will be stolen by things that mean nothing in the long run. If you don't master your thoughts, you'll spend your life reacting instead of building, and God didn't create you to react. He created you to reign. Look at David before he ever faced Goliath. He wasn't on a stage. He wasn't in the spotlight. He was in the field tending sheep, learning how to fight lions and bears. Why? Because the field is where discipline is forged. The field is where warriors are formed, when nobody's clapping, when nobody's watching. That's when you find out what you're really made of. And it was that hidden discipline that gave him public victory. Because when you train in private, you win in public. So many people want elevation without preparation. But God doesn't promote potential, He promotes discipline. He lifts those who can be trusted to carry the weight without dropping it. And if you haven't trained for it, you'll fumble the blessing the moment it arrives. But if you've been sharpening your sword in silence, when the moment comes, you won't flinch, you'll rise. Understand this. Discipline is also a decision. It's not something you feel, it's something you choose. And every day you delay the decision, you delay the destiny. Every day you wait to feel ready, you're giving the enemy more ground. But when you wake up and choose discipline, when you decide that your purpose is more important than your comfort, your progress becomes inevitable. Slow, maybe, quiet, maybe, but unstoppable, absolutely. So, I dare you to become dangerous in your discipline, dangerous in your consistency, ruthless with your schedule, relentless with your prayer life, structured in your study time. You are not just showing up to survive, you are showing up to be sharpened, to be strengthened, to be made ready, because the doors you are praying for will open when God sees you've trained for what's behind them. Don't underestimate the power of daily obedience. It may look small now. It may feel invisible, but what you are doing in secret is building a soldier in the spirit. And one day, when life throws its worst at you, you'll stand not because you're lucky, not because you're loud, but because you're trained. Most people run from pain. They avoid it, they numb it, they deny it, and they label it as punishment. But pain is not your enemy. It's your instructor. It's not a curse, it's a classroom. And if you stay in the lesson long enough, you'll find that every tear, every disappointment, every betrayal was training you for what's ahead. You thought that heartbreak was the end, but it was actually basic training for your emotional resilience. You thought that failure meant you were finished, but it was just the fire God used to refine your character. You've been looking at your life and wondering why things have been so hard, so lonely, so unfair. But have you ever stopped to consider that what you're going through isn't trying to break you? It's trying to build you. It's trying to build your endurance, build your spiritual muscles, build your mental toughness. You cannot expect to walk into destiny soft, weak, and fragile. You must be tried, tested, and trained. God doesn't use people who haven't been processed, and the process almost always includes pain. Pain doesn't feel good, but it works good. It cuts away the excess. It peels back your pride. It reveals what you lean on when the comfort is stripped, when the applause fades, when the people walk away. Then, and only then, do you see who you really are. And if you're going to be your own army, you have to know who you are when it hurts, when it's quiet, when nothing makes sense. That's when the soldier in you starts to stand up. Think about it. No soldier is trained in a palace. They are trained in the wilderness, in the heat, in the tension, in the pressure. In those conditions, they learn focus. They learn how to respond under fire. They learn how to operate without comfort. And if you're going through something right now that feels like a storm, a war, or a wilderness, don't curse it. Learn from it. It's your spiritual boot camp. Some of the most powerful people you admire didn't become strong because life was easy. They became strong because life was hard. But they didn't quit, they didn't break, they didn't fold, they used the weight as their workout, they used betrayal as their bench press, they used rejection as resistance training. The pain pushed them into purpose. See, pain introduces you to your real self. It forces you to confront your fears, your dependencies, your excuses. Pain says, who are you when you don't get the job? Who are you when they don't call back? Who are you when the door doesn't open? And you've got to answer not with your mouth, but with your movement, with your response, with your grind, with your growth. Some of you are asking God to remove the pain, but the pain is what's making you powerful. The pain is what's pulling the warrior out of you. The pressure is producing the version of you that's strong enough to handle the dream you prayed for. You don't get purpose without pain. You don't get anointing without affliction. You don't get wisdom without wounds, and the beauty of this training camp is that it's custom made. It's tailored to your destiny. God knows exactly what battles you're going to face 5 years from now, so He's training you now. You think you're losing, but you're learning. You think you're being punished, but you're being positioned. Positioned to lead, positioned to speak, positioned to stand. I came to tell you today, don't waste your pain. Don't ignore your training, use it. Use the heartbreak to make you more discerning. Use the loss to make you more grateful. Use the waiting season to develop your patience. Don't let the lesson pass you by because you were too busy complaining about the process. The training camp doesn't last forever, but it will shape you forever if you let it. You are not just going through, you are growing through. That situation that looked like it was meant to kill you is actually cultivating the leader in you. That job you lost is producing creativity you didn't even know you had. That lonely season is teaching you how to hear God for yourself. That betrayal is showing you how to walk by faith and not by favor. Pain is a teacher that doesn't speak in words. It speaks in outcomes. You'll look back one day and say, "Thank God they walked away." You'll say, "Thank God that door closed." You'll realize that the version of you that cried on the floor was the seed of the version that would rise like a giant. But you only get to that place if you embrace the training, if you stop running from pain and start learning from it. Listen to me. Your pain is not random. It's not wasted. It's a tool. It's a strategy. It's God's way of preparing you for battles that aren't even visible yet. And while you're crying, God is saying, "I'm building you. I'm stretching you. I'm making you ready." So don't despise this season. Don't rush out of it. Don't try to shortcut the struggle. Let it train you. Let it sharpen you. Let it discipline you. Because when it's all said and done, you'll rise from this training camp not as a victim, but as a soldier. Not as someone who barely made it, but as someone who's ready to take territory. There is a power in silence that most people never learn to access. In a world addicted to noise, we assume that volume equals strength and visibility equals impact. But some of the most dangerous warriors are the quiet ones, the ones who move in silence, the ones who don't announce their next step, the ones who don't post every prayer, every win, every plan, the ones who know that silence is not weakness, it's wisdom. It's strategy. When you are building something real, you don't have time to explain yourself to everybody. You don't have energy to waste trying to prove yourself to people who don't even believe in you. When a general prepares for battle, he doesn't call a press conference. He plans, he positions, he moves without giving the enemy a head up. And that's how you must begin to think about your own life. Not everyone deserves access to your process. Not everyone should know what you're working on, healing from, or planning to achieve. There are seasons when God will mute you, not because He's punishing you, but because He's protecting you. Some doors require silence. Some breakthroughs demand secrecy. Because the more you speak, the more you expose. And when you expose too much, you invite interference. Some of you are losing battles not because you're weak, but because you're talking too much. Telling your next move before it's matured. Announcing your vision before it's been developed. And the enemy doesn't need to fight what you don't reveal. But once you expose it, it becomes a target. There's a reason why Jesus often performed miracles and then told people, "Tell no one." Why? Because not every divine move is meant to be public. Sometimes what God is doing in your life is so sacred, so strategic, that it must be shielded. You have to learn to carry your transformation in silence. Carry your progress quietly. Let them underestimate you. Let them talk. Let them assume. You don't need to correct every rumor or confront every misunderstanding. Sometimes the best clap back is elevation. The best answer is results. Silence also creates space for clarity. When you're constantly talking, constantly explaining, constantly defending, you don't give your spirit room to think, to hear, to discern. But when you go quiet, you begin to hear God more clearly. You start to recognize what's noise and what's necessary. And in that silence, you learn the sound of your own soul. You reconnect with your why. You strengthen your inner resolve. You begin to move not out of reaction, but out of revelation. We've become so addicted to performing that we forget how powerful it is to just be still and build. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You don't have to post every workout, every fast, every idea. The fruit will speak for itself. Let your discipline speak. Let your consistency speak. Let your transformation speak. They may not see you now, but when you show up with power, purpose, and results, they won't be able to ignore you. Understand this. Silence is not shrinking, it's sharpening. You're not being passive, you're being precise. You're not retreating, you're reloading. And while the world is chasing attention, you're developing authority. Quiet people who have done the work move with power. They don't need to announce. Their presence speaks. Their focus commands respect. They don't beg for opportunities, they create them, because silence gives birth to depth. Some of the strongest people you'll ever meet are the ones who fought their greatest battles in silence. No announcement, no pity party, no crowd, just grit, just prayer, just quiet perseverance. They bled in private so they could lead in public. And that's what being your own army looks like. You don't wait on affirmation. You don't rely on applause. You keep showing up. You keep pushing through. You keep becoming. You don't always need to announce the war you're in. Sometimes God is saying, hush, I'm working something in you. Stay low while I lift you. Stay hidden while I heal you. Stay focused while I form you. You're not being ignored, you're being insulated. And when the time is right, when the preparation is complete, when the structure is solid, you'll emerge with power that was forged in the furnace of silence. So hold your ground, keep your mouth closed, keep your spirit open. Watch what happens when you start moving in discipline instead of desperation. Watch what shifts when you stop looking for validation and start listening for vision. Every minute you spend explaining yourself is a minute you could be using to execute. And execution in silence is what terrifies the enemy most. Remember, noise attracts attention, but strategy wins battles. And if you're going to be your own army, you've got to know when to speak and when to be still, when to roar and when to retreat into the secret place. Because the secret place is where strength is born. It's where generals are trained. It's where destinies are formed, not in front of crowds, but in front of God. Let them talk. Let them doubt. Let them sleep on you. It's not your job to convince them. It's your job to build, to grow, to prepare, and when you show up not with noise, but with results, the silence will have spoken louder than words ever could. When you step onto the battlefield of life, you can't just swing wildly hoping for victory. You've got to fight with aim. You've got to fight with purpose. And that purpose comes from two divine tools that every warrior must carry. Faith and vision. One protects you, the other drives you. One is your shield, the other is your sword. And if you're going to be your own army, you can't walk around unarmed. You must be equipped for the battle ahead. Faith is not just a belief system. It is your spiritual armor. When the darts of doubt come flying, when life starts hurling fear at your mind, when rejection tries to pierce your heart, faith steps in and says, not today. A faith reminds you of who you are and whose you are. It doesn't make the storm disappear, but it gives you the confidence to stand in the middle of it and say, though he slay me, yet will I trust him. Faith is not built on what you see. It's built on what God said. And that's why you need vision. Vision gives your life direction. It gives your faith a target. Because faith with no vision has nothing to fight for. You must see something beyond your now. You must hold onto a picture of what God is calling you into. Even if your current situation looks nothing like it, that's what keeps you going when you want to quit. That's what wakes you up early and keeps you grinding when everyone else is sleeping in. It's not the paycheck, it's not the platform, it's the vision. Now understand, vision isn't about fantasy, vision isn't about daydreaming, vision is divine revelation. It's seeing what God has purposed for you, even when you're surrounded by opposition. And when you have that vision planted in your spirit, it becomes your sword. You begin to swing at every distraction, every delay, every doubt. You don't fight aimlessly. You strike with intentionality. Faith tells you that you're covered. Vision tells you where you're going. And the reason many people are stuck is because they have neither. They've allowed life to beat the vision out of them. They've stopped believing. They've started settling, but you can't fight with fear. You can't build with confusion. You've got to armor up. You've got to pick up your weapons. If the enemy can rob you of your faith, he'll steal your endurance. If he can blur your vision, he'll sabotage your purpose. That's why he attacks your mind first, because a confused mind is a disarmed soldier. But when your faith is strong and your vision is clear, you become dangerous. You become focused. You stop chasing approval and start chasing alignment. You stop reacting emotionally and start responding spiritually. Think of Nehemiah building that wall. He didn't let distractions pull him down. Why? Because he had a vision and he had faith. His enemies mocked him, threatened him, lied about him, but he didn't come down off the wall to argue. He stayed focused. He kept building, because vision will keep you building while others are breaking. Faith will keep you standing while others are shrinking. These are not just religious tools. They are battle-tested strategies. If you don't develop your faith, every setback will feel like the end. You'll quit too early. You'll settle for less, but faith teaches you how to trust in what you can't trace. It teaches you how to say, I don't see the way, but I know there is one. It teaches you how to walk through dark seasons without losing your mind. Because faith is not based on evidence, it's based on conviction. And if you don't guard your vision, you'll start living someone else's version of your life. You'll chase trends instead of truth. You'll mimic instead of master. Vision is personal. It's sacred. You've got to protect it from distractions, comparisons, and compromise, because vision gives you focus. And when you have focus, you become more productive, more precise, more powerful. You stop saying yes to everything because you understand your assignment. Now hear me. The combination of faith and vision makes you unstoppable. You become a one-person army. You don't need a full team. You don't need a big platform. When faith is your shield, nothing can break you. When vision is your sword, nothing can block you. You move through life with confidence and clarity, and that's what the enemy fears most. A person who knows where they're going and believes they'll get there. There will be moments when your vision gets blurry. Life will hit you hard. People will disappoint you. Plans will fall through, but don't put your weapons down. That's when you lift your faith higher. That's when you dig deeper. That's when you remind yourself of what God showed you. Sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is hold on to what he said long after it stopped making sense. And hear me clearly. You don't need everyone to believe in the vision God gave you. They weren't in the room when he spoke it. They didn't see what you saw. They didn't feel what you felt. Stop waiting for permission. Stop asking for validation. Pick up your sword, raise your shield, and fight for what's yours. Because when you have faith in your heart and vision in your hand, you're not walking blindly through life, you're marching in power. And even if you've got to do it alone, even if no one claps, even if no one understands, you move forward anyway. Because your fight is not in vain, your weapons are spiritual, your destiny is real. There comes a point in every person's life when they have to stop waiting for someone else to show up. Stop waiting for a rescuer. Stop waiting for someone to believe in you. Stop waiting for someone to come fix what's broken in your life. Because the truth is, nobody is coming. Nobody is going to feel your hunger like you do. Nobody is going to fight for your dream like you must. And once you realize that, once you truly understand that help may not be on the way, you'll discover that everything you've been looking for was already in you. See, too many people are paralyzed because they keep expecting reinforcements. They keep waiting for support before they start, waiting for applause before they take a step, waiting for signs and signals and sponsorships. But life doesn't reward those who wait forever. It honors those who take initiative. You've got to be the one who stands up. You've got to be the one who pushes forward. You've got to be the one who says, if nobody helps me build, I'll build it anyway. If nobody claps, I'll keep going. If nobody shows up, I still will. Because you weren't made to depend on others for your momentum. You were designed to be a force of forward motion all by yourself. You've got to stop expecting people to understand your assignment when they didn't receive your calling. They didn't hear what God whispered to you. They didn't see the vision he showed you at 3 a.m. They don't know what you're carrying, so why would you expect them to carry it with you? There's a power that rises in you the moment you decide, it's on me. When you stop blaming your past, your parents, your environment, your situation, and you say, no more excuses. I take responsibility for my life, for my growth, for my healing, for my future. That's when you move from being a victim to being a warrior. That's when you stop waiting for backup and realize you are the backup. God is not going to send someone else to do what he put inside you to accomplish. You are the answer to your own prayers. You are the break through your family needs. You are the cycle breaker. You are the trailblazer. You are the one who has the authority to shift the atmosphere, shift the mindset, shift the future. But not if you stay on the ground waiting for someone to lift you. You've got to rise. Now understand, rising doesn't mean you feel ready. It means you move even when you feel afraid. It means you take a step before everything is perfectly in place. Because real strength isn't proven in convenience, it's revealed in commitment. When you show up for yourself again and again, even when life gives you every reason to sit down, even when nobody notices, even when nobody helps, and let's be real, sometimes the people you thought would be there won't be. The ones you helped, the ones you supported, the ones you encouraged when it's your turn, they're silent. That can hurt. But that's when you've got to remember, God never told you they were your source. He is, and as long as you have him, you are never empty. You are never alone. You are never unarmed. You've been conditioned to think you need more than what you already have. But I came to tell you, you are already equipped. You've got the mind. You've got the creativity. You've got the voice. You've got the resilience. You've got the experience. You've got the scars to prove you've been through hell, and yet you're still standing. That alone should tell you that you're stronger than you think. You keep looking outward, but God is calling you inward. He's saying, stop looking around and start looking within. I've placed in you what you've been praying for. That power, that perseverance, that strategy, it's already there. It's just been buried under doubt, covered up by fear, hidden beneath rejection, but now is the time to dig it up, dust it off, and go to war for what's yours, because life is not going to hand you peace. It's not going to hand you purpose. You've got to fight for it. You've got to get up every day and decide that quitting is not an option. You've got to stare down your own excuses and say, not today. You've got to battle against comfort, against procrastination, against insecurity, because none of those things are going to take you where you're destined to go. It's not easy. Nobody said it would be. But what's harder, fighting for your future or living with regret? Waging war on your old mindset or waking up 10 years from now wondering what happened to your dream? You've got to choose, and I pray you choose the fight. I pray you choose the fire, because the fire in you is greater than the opposition around you. And here's the truth. Once you learn how to be your own army, you'll stop expecting others to rescue you. You'll stop waiting for permission. You'll stop shrinking in rooms you were called to command. You'll realize that you were never meant to blend in, you were meant to build, to lead, to conquer. Now, hear me, and hear me clearly. Everything you need to overcome, everything you need to rise, to build, to conquer, it's already inside of you. The battles you faced weren't there to break you, they were there to build you. The silence, the struggle, the isolation, the discipline, the pain, it was all part of your training. And now you know what most never discover. You don't need to be rescued. You need to be activated. You've been waiting on the world to support you. But now you realize the world doesn't owe you belief. You owe yourself commitment. You've been looking for a crowd when God was calling you to the closet, to the secret place, to the quiet, to the discipline where real soldiers are made. The applause may not come, the reinforcements may not arrive, but that doesn't mean you're alone. You have your discipline, your first weapon. You've walked through pain, your training ground. You've mastered the power of silence, your strategy. You've equipped yourself with faith and vision, your armor and your aim, and you've made the shift. You no longer wait for help. You realize now you are the help. So rise up, tighten your boots, set your face like flint. Dry your tears, straighten your back, and walk forward. Not as someone who's hoping, but as someone who's ready. You don't have to beg for victory. You were born for it. This is not just a motivational word. It's a military activation. You are not fragile. You are not broken. You are not forgotten. You are your own army. Now go take back what's yours. Go build what God showed you. Go lead like nobody's watching. Go fight like you already won. And when they ask how you did it, tell them, I didn't wait for rescue. I became the warrior. I was my own army.